Welcome. Make sure you're at the right place. This is the Beavercreek Board of Zoning Appeals. Okay, we have two cases tonight that we'll be hearing. Before we get started with the official roll call, let me explain to you how we operate. What we'll do is we'll hear the motion or hear the applicant, what the application is from staff. Then we'll ask for public comment on for the explaining the application or talking for the application. Afterwards, then we'll ask for any other public comment, other comments, or comments against. And once we hear all that, and we can ask you questions while you're giving that testimony a little bit, we will then close the public portion and open it amongst the members to discuss and to vote on. When you get ready to come to testify, there's a little placard on that podium there that if you would read it and insert your name and address in proper places, it would be greatly appreciated. So with that said, why don't you roll?
All right. Mr. Jenkins?
Here.
Ms. Gottwald?
Here.
Mr. Roberts?
Here.
Mr. Hemmerich?
Here.
Mr. Huntsman?
Here. Next, do you want to give us the staff report?
Sure. We'll start with
You're reading the
71.
yeah.
Start with the public hearing notice. The purpose of the hearing is so that the Board of Zoning Appeals may review and act on a request made by Fluid Applied Roofing LLC on behalf of with consent of Property Owners Defense Holdings LLC for parcel B03-0003-3000-7800 to allow a conditional use. The street address for the parcel is 788 Orchard Lane. The parcel is currently zoned PUD I/C, which is industrial/commercial. And the requested conditional use is for the manufacture, sale, and storage of building materials, excluding cement products. That's one of the uses listed in the table of permitted and uses that was passed along with the resolution. We'll talk a little bit about that in the staff report. If you are ready for staff report.
Yes.
So just some brief facts. You got most of them. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Whoops. So the applicant, in this case again, Fluid Applied Roofing LLC, they have consent from the current property owner, Defense Holdings LLC, and they provided an affidavit to that effect. They're located in the Beavercreek Industrial Park. Gave you the parcel ID number already and the street address, and again, the conditional use being requested is manufacture, sale, and storage of building materials, excluding cement products. A little bit of context. As you all know, when a land use is listed as conditional, the intent of the zoning resolution is that the land use should be approved so long as appropriate conditions are imposed on the land use to reduce negative impacts to health, safety, and welfare. If those conditions, if no suitable conditions can be made, then that's when we start talking about what else can take place. So in this case, staff examined the proposed use by conducting an interview with the applicant to learn more about their process. Staff has since creating this has had a phone call with sanitary engineering as well to understand their permitting process. One of the members of the application team will talk to you a little bit about that. So we discovered a couple of key pieces of information related to the proposed use. Number one, Fluid Applied Roofing manufactures a type of sealant or coating material. And forgive me if this isn't quite exactly what you guys do, but in generalities, it's a coating material that improves the useful life of other roofing materials. This kind of sealant product is manufactured by mixing together a proprietary blend of other materials. None of the materials involved in the manufacturing process are especially noxious or dangerous to the best knowledge of staff. The manufacturing process results in very little waste. What waste is produced consists solely of gray water, which is filtered multiple times before being disposed of. This is essentially from the mixing machinery being washed out between batches is how it was described to me, again, in generalities. And finally, the applicant will not make any changes to the footprint of the existing building at 788 Orchard Lane. So they're not going to be changing the exterior dimensions or facade of the building. They will be doing some work inside the building, changing drywall areas and things like that, changing the indoor layout. But I think that's important to note that no change to the existing building will take place. Again, parcel zoned PUD I/C or industrial/commercial. And the list of allowable land uses for that parcel is detailed as an exhibit for trustee resolution number 2022-1011-ZCA, which was included in your case packet. The applicant does already operate an administrative and logistics center within the Beaver Park Industrial Park, located at 830 Space Drive. So this kind of represents an expansion of their business in a way that makes logical sense. Have the administration logistics in one area and actual production close by in the same business park. And it will bring multiple jobs from outside of Greene County where they are now. So we believe that does enhance the economic position of the community as far as welfare is concerned. So staff does have a recommendation. We do recommend approval of the conditional use request with some suggested conditions. Of course, you all may impose additional conditions if you see fit. These are just staff suggestions. The proposed use, we believe, does not negatively impact the health, safety, or welfare of the community. In fact, by occupying a currently unused commercial building, the proposed use represents a positive impact to community welfare. The components of the manufacturing process are not noxious and dangerous, and the only waste product is filtered gray water, which again, between conversations with sanitary engineering and their permitting process, staff is satisfied that that water will make its way into the system in a safe way that the system is capable of handling. We do recommend 2 conditions be placed to further mitigate potential impacts to community health and welfare. So number 1, no outside storage of any components of the manufacturing process may take place except for the short-term loading and unloading of shipped materials or shipping materials. This would just be to prevent any kind of leaching of, the component materials in the manufacturing process. Speaking with the applicant, that wasn't part of the plan anyways, which is great, but making sure that it's codified, I think, is important. And the second, the applicant must provide a written statement from Greene County Sanitary Engineering that the proposed manufacturing process's wastewater is suitable for disposal using the existing water and sewer infrastructure. Such statement must be provided and approved by staff before any manufacturing may take place. If it is determined that any infrastructure upgrades must be made, a written statement from Greene County Sanitary Engineering that the upgrades have been sufficiently implemented must be provided and approved by staff. This is basically us double checking that they have gone through the correct permitting procedures with Greene County Sanitary Engineering. So that is staff's recommendation. I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have about the report.
Okay, not at this time.
Okay.
Okay, let's hear from the applicant.
Great.
Who would like to speak for the case tonight?
There might be 2 of us, but I'll
No, yeah, all can do it, but one at a time.
want me to stand?
Yeah, please, come up to the podium and read the little card that's there.
The oath.
Read it out loud.
Yes. Yes, and insert your name where appropriate, okay?
I, Sonny Arwood, you want my
Your home address is fine,
Home address.
actually.
2897 Stone Mill Court, Beavercreek, Ohio. Solemnly swear that the statements I'm about to make before the Beavercreek Township Board of Zoning Appeals are truthful to the best of my knowledge and belief.
Thank you.
Okay, so what can I answer?
How long you been in this process, doing this business?
So I've been in the commercial roofing space for about 30 years. On the manufacturing side, I originally purchased the formula in approximately 2012, and we started using tolling manufacturing right out of the gate, which is a contract manufacturing business that made products like ours for multiple people. The business has grown very quickly. When we took it to market, the rate of growth has just been almost impossible to even keep up with, to be honest. So it's been a great ride. We have felt that we wanted to bring the manufacturing process in-house. Currently, we're in Sandusky and Piqua, and with our tollers. And so, again, the growth has been fantastic. We outpaced our first toller in about a year, and we added the second, and now we're wanting to actually take on the manufacturing ourselves and bring those jobs here because they're in Sandusky and they are in Piqua currently. So by setting that manufacturing process here, we can bring those jobs and that revenue here. So
Understanding it's proprietary, the mix in that, what, are you dealing with water-based materials all the way around, or do you have chlorinated solvents or other things in it?
okay, it's all water-based, but I'm going to let Wayne, because he actually has been involved in the production
Okay.
side, of this, the manufacturing products.
Sure.
our products. So I'll stay here with you if you want me to.
That'd be fine, sure. Yeah, yep, same thing.
I, Wayne Worling, address is 5670 Piqua Clayton Road in Piqua, Ohio. Work here at 830 Space Drive. I solemnly swear that the statements I am about to make before the Beavercreek Township Board of Zoning Appeals are the truth and to the best of my knowledge and belief.
Okay, thank you.
So our products are water-based. There are a variety of products that are used in food-grade components. Most syrups use similar products as well. They're roofing materials that bring a lot of sustainability to our other companies that we apply these coatings to. They're reducing internal temperatures of buildings as well as external temperatures, creating less heat zones based on the buildings. And as far as formulation, we can go into that a little bit more as far as water-based products, whatever your questions may have about it.
Okay, you talk about having gray water, okay, as the final effluent, and I'm assuming you're going to discharge it to the sewer, to that. Do you have to have any pre-treatment done to it before doing?
So I've been talking with Mark Chandler, the interim director of the Greene County Sanitary Engineering Office. And as far as he said so far, we've kind of went over all the processes. Basically, all we're doing is taking our rinsed tanks, running them through 4 increasing micron filters. So they're going to get smaller as they go. All the solids will be removed. Those will be disposed of as solid waste. Effectively, the water coming off of that is not much in it. It's kind of already been, everything's been removed at that point. And he said that there's no pre-treatment. We're doing water testing currently. He just wanted to confirm, make sure we're meeting all of the standards that are required by Greene County.
Okay.
We're currently doing that through Pace Labs out of Englewood. We will have the results probably the next week. And as far as Mark said as well, he's like, I don't believe there's going to be any permits that are going to be required just because we are not going to be disposing of that much water. On a daily amount, we're probably going to be less than 1,000 gallons.
Okay,
So,
okay. Are you going to have large tanks in the facility? Okay.
yeah, there will be about 500 or 300 gallons, and then there might be a couple 500 gallons or a little bit smaller, but nothing's going to be much larger than that.
Anything flammable? Yeah.
Other than pallets.
Have you?
Food
Well,
pallets.
yeah. Have you talked to the fire department yet?
I don't believe we do.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I'll give you a little more background as well. So I originally was at one of the tolling facilities. I worked with Sunny for about 5 years now, maybe a little bit longer. And I was over that process. We were manufacturing everything. We've been doing it up in Piqua for probably been about 2 years, 2.5 years now. And we have had everything improved in that building. As far as fire, we have fire extinguishers as per code all throughout the building. No other solvents or anything like that that was flammable. We have fire walkthroughs that were annually there, and everything was in good condition. We plan on doing the same here, making sure it's all under code.
Okay. Okay. Being water-based, is it also, do you have like a high chemical oxygen demand or a BOD to it?
So that's what we're working with Case Laboratories to confirm and find out.
Okay.
Because I know there's, I believe, 1,000 milligrams.
Right.
And we're working on getting that test completed this week. So as far as I know, there's not a large oxygen demand from it, but we're working to confirm that.
Okay. Okay.
If there is anything in that nature, we will alter our filtering process to make sure that that is accounted for.
How low do you go with the micro 0.45?
So currently we go to 10 microns,
10? Okay.
and then we can add other filters because these are removable bags, so we can replace the filters with down to a half micron as well if needed.
Okay.
Most of our solids aren't that small,
Mhm.
and most things, a normal household cup filter is about 10 microns. It removes most of the particles that would be any concern.
Okay. Okay. And you guys, any questions?
Anything in the proprietary stuff carcinogenic in nature?
Not that I'm aware of.
Do you have to have any EPA permits on any of this?
No.
Okay. Okay. And you will have MSD sheets for everything at the facility?
Everything will be stored in MSDS book that will be available to.
Okay.
No problem with keeping everything inside?
Correct. No problem.
Okay.
Now, you said there'd be some solid waste too. What's that gonna?
So essentially the same material that is in our product that we sell. When we rinse out the tanks, that's going to be caught by the filter bags. At that point, it can be cured. We can dry it, bake it, whatever we need to do to turn it solid. And at that point, that would be just a solid waste at that point, taken to landfill or transfer station.
Okay. How often will you have raw material delivered?
If we're going to phase out the other two tolling locations
Uh-huh.
eventually, so that is going to depend on our desire for more workload. Like I said, the company's growing very fast, so we're gonna do this at a pace that we feel we can handle that growth. If we were to take over the entire operation,
I definitely don't see it being more than a couple trucks a day though.
yeah,
There may be some coming in, some going out.
yeah, it
But
won't
it'll
be,
be excessive.
You're
Yeah.
talking about raw materials, I believe is what they're asking specifically
okay.
about.
raw
Yeah,
materials,
so specifically for the raw materials.
yeah, even at all levels, it would be more than, what, it would be more than a couple trucks a month.
Yeah, we will.
I'm
Is
sorry,
that
I
a
can't hear
50?
you.
Is
Yeah.
that a 53-foot truck or?
There are some, they range from 48 to 53. Some of them are even, I believe, 40s for tanks. Those come in, yeah.
What's the facility output gonna be?
Uh-oh. Yeah, let's get,
I'm sorry, yeah, let me rather than watching them struggle,
right.
hearing this,
Yeah.
I, Terry Branham, 2897 Stonewall Court, Ohio, solemnly swear that the statements I'm about to make before the Beavercreek Township Board of Zoning Appeals are the truth to the best of my knowledge and belief. So, I am the chief financial officer and a managing partner in the business, and I handle the procurement of all these raw materials that you're asking about. So it's
Okay.
probably easiest if I just
Okay,
answer
we're
those
going to the
questions.
source here. Okay.
So again, they're proprietary, so I can't disclose what they are specifically. Some of the raw materials only come in they come in a tanker, and we'll get maybe a tanker every 2 months. Other raw materials, it comes in a truckload, and I might take a truckload every 6 weeks. Some of the other lesser used items, I might get 4 drums in a month's time.
Okay.
So it's not, we're not bringing in truckloads of raw materials every day, we're not bringing in truckloads of raw materials every week.
Okay. Okay.
We're not at that capacity yet.
Okay.
We couldn't handle that capacity at this facility, if I'm being.
Right.
We would have to run 3 shifts 7 days a week, and we're not there.
Uh-huh.
I would love for us to be there someday, that would be amazing.
Huh?
But
You never
we're
know.
definitely not there today, so just in keeping with what we're doing at the tollers in Sandusky and the same with the toller in Piqua, if we were to mirror that here to increase our capacity overall, then those quantities that I told you are about what it would be coming in.
Okay.
So again, a total on a monthly basis, I mean, if we had 4 truckloads total in a month of everything combined. But again, it's a tanker of this, a truck of this, and then a pallet of this and that.
How does it go out? How does it go out? How's
So
the
it
finished
comes
product?
out- It goes out as finished goods.
But how? In what format? In a drum, in a box, in a can?
5-gallon buckets, 55-gallon drums, 275-gallon totes. More often than not, 55-gallon drums.
And what's the
5-gallon
output a
totes.
month?
Oh gosh, gallons a month.
I love it.
While he's figuring
Depends,
that,
is it a good month or is it a bad month? It depends on the time of year. because
Average.
Seasonality, it's roofing, so you've got 4 months out of the year where you don't have a whole lot of it going out. So the production is also a
So-
little less.
Maximum with us running one shift, and that's working, I wanna say 20 business days a month. That's 24,000 gallons that we're moving out a month
Of finished goods.
of finished goods.
you had stated, I forgot your name, young man,
Wait,
Wayne. You had stated that on the tank storage, you'd have a couple 500-gallon tanks and maybe a 300 or 400-gallon tank. And then you talk about getting a tanker load of stuff in, so you have to have the tanks there for how many ever thousands of gallons comes in on a tanker.
so he's speaking of the mixing tanks, is
So-
what he was speaking of.
So I can elaborate on some of that. So our mixing tanks are average about 350 gallon size. But our storage for those materials, they're not gonna be in a large vessel tank. We store them in totes. So when the truck comes in, we'll offload into those totes, following all of their rules and regulations to unload a tanker. Fill the totes, and all of those will be stored as a raw material that will then be used. And then those totes get reused and reused.
Okay.
Do you have a spill prevention policy?
Yes, so we have
And-
dikes that we place around all of our products that we have to place in case it spills. Drain mats that we cover drains, make sure that nothing gets exposed into those, and we have spill absorbents as well. So if any of those ever were to spill, we will conceal them before they can reach the tanks.
And the biggest equipment that you have for unloading is just a forklift, essentially? Okay. The reason we're asking all these questions is health, safety, and welfare. That's our prime interest in what you're doing, so.
And I know everything's proprietary, but the tests that Greene County Sanitary Engineering is doing, are they getting full access to everything so they can test accordingly? As long as somebody is.
Yeah.
I know sounds like a great deal for the township, but I mean, what's happening to the Piqua and Sandusky people?
They're still producing, just, they won't be probably as producing as much. Ideally, it's more profitable for us if the more we can manufacture here, the more profitable.
So they're a
it is.
third party, right?
But yes,
Yes.
yeah.
And they actually have another business again. They pull from it.
Yeah.
So,
They just take our recipe and mix it up, just like they take other recipes.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay.
So, any other questions? Joe?
So you call them a vendor, right? They'd be your vendor?
They're a vendor.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Okay. If there's no other questions from the board for the applicant, is there anyone wishing to have other comments or speak against the application? Hearing none, we'll go ahead and close the public portion and discuss it amongst the board members.
I just had a couple of questions. Max, if they come in here and presented it as to what they're generating now, what they're manufacturing, if they were to come in, I mean, if they were to eventually start manufacturing something else in the building, would they have to come in and get clearance from you guys to start manufacturing in case it's something volatile, or can they just free willy?
If it changed their land use, like if they started manufacturing some other thing besides building materials, perhaps. But as far as I see it, if what they're manufacturing falls under the label of building materials, then this conditional use would, as it stands, cover all that. There could be, for instance, a condition placed that, although I'm struggling to figure out how you might word it, but that would be how you might try to mitigate against that. Although I don't believe that's anywhere in the cards for this group. I think they're going to be maxed out producing the one product. So.
See, but like to piggyback off what you're saying is because there's no EPA permits. There's nothing that is going to check.
Right, I'm just saying in the future, 10 years from now
Yeah.
or whatever, they might change the recipe and start using something that's hazardous or find something bigger and better, reinvent the wheel.
Sure. Part of what's going to keep a barrier between the township and that is they do have, a discharge permit that they'll be getting, and that will essentially give them a limit, right? A type of chemical and a particulate limit that can be in the gray water. So if they ever changed their format significantly, they would most likely, and I don't know, I'd have to ask Greene County Sanitary Engineering. I'm not intimately familiar with their process, but they would most likely need to update their permit to.
Yeah, I don't know. Does Greene County go around and randomly sample?
Not to my knowledge.
So that's where I'm.
Yeah.
Well, and that was one of my questions. Are they going to annually, or what's the protocol? Are they going to be testing annually?
I believe once they do their permit, and again, not being super familiar with Greene County Sanitary Engineering's process, that I'm unaware of like an annual test on that once the permit's been given.
I can jump in. So you guys know where I live, and I live on the other end of Orchard Lane, and I know that Greene County does with the wells, but that was also due to the GE
Right.
situation. Greene County subcontracts out, and they have people that come in and they monitor.
They're monitoring wells, yeah.
I believe it's every 6 months or every 3 months they're out checking our wells. I just didn't know if maybe.
But that's a different,
But
it's a whole different
yeah,
ballgame.
That's what I'm
this
saying,
isn't
because
a
that's-
well. This
yeah.
is a discharge
Right.
into the sewer,
Yeah.
and that would be a comment I have is and not to say anything, but what is in place to keep everybody honest, right? What's the safety for that? And then also a more realistic thing with what I'm hearing, which I hope for you guys, is you outgrow the place and you want to come back and expand in a year. So then what happens? Now we want to double the footprint.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if this use is allowed, right? If you say yes to the conditional use and they want to expand the same use, then I don't know that by our book would require them to come back for some sort of additional
I
hearing or
agree,
anything
but
like
it
that.
would result in the discharge being updated,
Yeah,
which then could be
certainly.
the safety net.
Yeah, if they put any new facilities, then those would have to get checked out by Greene County Sanitary Engineering the same way. Whatever discharge system they decide to put in, they need permits for it as well.
Are they going to bill you based upon your water usage for the sewer?
So that's what I've been discussing with Mark.
Right.
We've been talking about installing or finding a solution to using separate meters for what water is used and goes shipped out with our product versus what water is used to rinse and be discharged. We're working on getting that solution.
There's
And
your
are you going
answer.
to pay a tap fee for each meter?
That's
God, I
the
hope
assessor
not.
has to figure that out. That hasn't been fully finished in discussion.
So are you trying to get like your discharge or your cleaning one more like a home sprinkler system meter setup?
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah,
Where it's
something like
reduced.
Where the water that's used for the mix and stays in that finished good, that's something like a sprinkler system where they would, the water's not being re-discharged back.
And I'm pretty sure that's a device that just goes inside the building.
Okay.
It's not another tap-in fee or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because they put it on people's houses that have pools
Okay.
or sprinkler systems.
Yeah, I think that'd be your answer
Yeah.
on control of it, because they're probably going to be regulated based upon COD, BOD load into the septic system, or into the sanitary system, and they'll be able to keep tab of it based upon the water usage. So,
Which sounds minimal compared to,
it is. But
they're
they
probably
typically
shipping more
won't-
water out than they're throwing down the drain.
Well, they typically won't let you discharge into the sanitary if there's really anything wrong.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Any of the municipalities, not just Greene
Oh,
County.
yeah.
So,
That's why we feel confident as staff that this measure of, the permitting process through Greene County Sanitary Engineering satisfies staff's concerns about the safety of the discharge specifically. That's why we believe so.
So do you think it'd be out of sorts to put a condition on there that states that if they were to start manufacturing a different product on the site, that they should come in and talk to you, or?
I think we would want to nail down what different product is, because I would hate, certainly if they made a proprietary change to their formula, I don't know that I'd want them to have to come and say, hey, we're gonna change it from 60% X to 40% X. But
Okay.
Or
that's what I'm saying.
simple
We
as
might
change your
just-
package platinum, gold, silver.
Hazardous waste, if they start using hazardous waste in their product, or,
I think.
I mean, I hate to see a blank check, because what if the business sells to somebody else someday?
Well, so the use allowance does stay with the parcel. That's how it would work. If you granted a conditional use, then some other company could come in under the same use, manufacturer of building materials excluding cement, and they would not need to come for some additional conditional use application through the BZA. However, at that point, almost certainly we will have interaction with that new group, especially here in the business park. We work with the owners of the businesses and also the realtors who manage the unsold properties, and we usually get the first call, right? Because they want to know these questions. Is the zoning good? Before I buy this or before I rent this, am I going to be able to do what I want to do there? So I believe that just natural market forces would mean that if they were to change owners or something like that, that we would have an opportunity to meet that new ownership before they went into the building. Could you put a condition on that?
I don't see it would hurt anything,
Nor do I. I think,
other than we'd have to figure out how to word it. I mean,
yeah.
new, I'm meaning new, different product. I'm not saying changing the recipe on the existing product, but
I think maybe if you were to, I think it would fall under the conditional use itself if you were to say if they manufactured anything that wasn't already an approved use, like if they started engaging in some use that wasn't already on their approved list, that they would need to come in for an additional conditional use hearing. I'm trying to think through
Are they
what
approved
it might sound
ingredients
like.
that they're using now, or of course we don't know what those are,
Yeah,
understandably, but
I don't think that would be acceptable, only because it would require them to give us a full list of what they're using and it's proprietary. So I don't think that solution could work. I think I'm just trying to get at, so something to the effect of,
how about a new product? How about if they start manufacturing a new product, different product,
again,
different formula?
I think we may be approaching kind of the limits of our authority. In the end, it's this use, the use of production of building materials excluding cement. I don't think,
Yeah, that's pretty wide open.
well, it is. I am struggling to find a way forward for us to impose a condition that they can't change what they produce in their building without coming to us. That is, I don't believe in zoning.
how about if you tie it to their discharge permit? Just say that if there will be a change in the discharge permit, it has to come back in
Needs
front
to
of
be
us.
reviewed and signed off by
you
staff.
go.
I think that is reasonable. And certainly we have a good relationship with sanitary engineering to where we could put a little asterisk on the permit and say, hey, if this, and I don't know if we'd want to try to set some parameters to that
No,
end.
no,
But
no,
just
What define the change?
Yeah.
What define change?
increase maybe if their discharge,
But they're seasonal. They're gonna have a seasonal
yeah,
flow,
that's a good point.
more and less.
Well, it'd be their max flow. I just, I'm just trying to keep the horse in the barn, in other words. Not worry about it after the fact, after it's, you know, and it might not be these people. I don't think it would be these people, but somebody in the future starts manufacturing an asphalt product in the building. That's building materials.
Well,
Then you get into all kinds of xylene and
well, so asphalt has it, and again, the use list with it includes a lot of different use types. Asphalt is a separate use in that list. and
Building
it's
materials.
not allowed. Yes, but when you, in the context of a list of acceptable uses, it's
Where's that at?
exclusionary of other. It's in the packet along with, and we'll
Yeah,
bring that up
asphalt
here.
Specifically listed.
So this is the list of uses that was actually passed as an exhibit.
asphalt is asphalt, not as shingles probably. Oh, I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah, well,
Just trying
and-
to prevent other products to start growing in the building and being shipped and water put down the drain without notifying anybody. And if Greene County doesn't go around and do spot checks, they never get caught, you know. That's what I'm trying to.
I definitely understand the impetus behind what you're asking, but I guess as I'm trying to figure out how we would enforce it, that's kind of what I'm coming to. We do not have the ability unless we certainly don't have the authority to go to do inspections of their building and
Oh, I
their
understand
process
that.
and things like that. Well, that's what I'm saying. That would be a prerequisite to this kind of condition that you're
So go back
going
to
for.
what Brent said and do the water discharge just strictly. It's to be limited to the water discharge
What
that
about
they presented.
Yeah, yeah.
In other words, if the water discharge eventually starts having pollutants in it, you can go in and say, hey, you didn't have an application for that. So how about that? That
Could
takes
I-
the seasonal out of it. That takes the,
Could I posit this to you? What if, on an annual basis, the applicant is required to provide a communication from Greene County Sanitary Engineering that no what's the word? No impactful change to the process has been made, and that they are still satisfied with the discharge system as it stands.
I think to even simplify that, you modify condition 2 to add to be done on a yearly basis, to be done annually. I think that would satisfy everyone.
And I don't think that represents a real hardship for the applicant. Applicant weigh in, but I believe that should be relatively easy for you to accomplish. Just an annual check-in that says, hey, Greene County Sanitary Engineering still good with the filtration system and the discharge. Does that sound reasonable?
that covers everybody, including them.
Yeah. I think we got there. I think that's a pretty good, and like you said, maybe modifying number 2, since we now know that they will definitely be obtaining a permit and approval, to just say, hey, this will happen on an annual basis. I might even suggest that we set it to be, well, why don't we say
So do you have a
September?
backflow? Do you have a backflow? We have a backflow test every year?
I would imagine if with the second meter that
I would say you
That's
you
just on-
target it the same time as you have
That's
the
just on the
backflow.
water supply, yeah.
Great.
That
I
would
think
make
that's
sense.
There's no backflow in the sewer.
Yep.
But it can all happen around the same time, and then we know.
Yeah, backflow's usually scheduled with a plumber and the other
So-
scheduled with the Greene County.
When you guys go to make your decision and you're crafting condition language, I don't know if you want to try to synthesize all that together now so we have a rough idea of what you'll say during the motion, but I guess the main points are that they will annually provide confirmation from Greene County Sanitary Engineering that the discharge is satisfactory to their permit, and they will do so in concert with their annual
Well,
backflow.
I just threw that out as an idea of when to do it. We don't need to put that in there. All we need to do is insert one word. The applicant must provide a written statement annually from Greene County Sanitary Engineering, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
I think that's all we need to do.
That's more than
When-
one word.
Pardon me? Oh, yeah. Well, I think when they do it, I was just thinking
Yeah.
of ease. If I'm doing a backflow test, I'm got plumbing and sanitation on my mind, I would just do it at the same time.
Yeah, annually.
Yeah, but I think if we just put annually after written statement,
I think that works.
Yeah,
You want to try and make a motion?
I'll motion.
yeah, go ahead.
I'll motion. Yeah.
You'll want to.
I would motion definitely that it needs to be a yearly, like, definitely a yearly check for.
I got it.
Yeah,
I got it. So I'll make a motion that we approve case, BZA case 871 as presented with the two conditions and a modification to the second condition, whereas the second condition needs to be modified to state the applicant must provide a written statement annually from Greene County Sanitary Engineering that the proposed manufacturing process wastewater is suitable for disposal using the existing water sewer infrastructure. Such statement must be provided and approved by staff.
Yeah, this is where that
Yeah, just at the infrastructure.
such state. How about we end it with such statement must be provided and approved by staff.
There you go.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff. That was way better than what I was gonna do.
I got your
Because
back.
I was trying to figure out how to say that without.
Just
So we have a
just got a
motion.
little experience.
Yeah.
So.
It's an art.
I second.
Second.
It's been seconded.
Discussion.
Any discussion on the motion? Call for roll.
Mr. Jenkins,
Your vote.
Yes.
Ms. Gottlieb,
Yeah.
Ms. Gottwald,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Hemrich,
Yes.
Mr. Huntsman.
Yes.
Thank you, board. Okay, so
Okay, now, there's another thing I forgot to tell you. You gotta sit there for a couple minutes while we get you some preliminary paperwork.
So what I'm gonna do is essentially give you a sheet of paper that lets you know what the decision was today. We will follow up with the full resolution once I have it signed by the board. That's usually tomorrow, depending on people's schedules, but if nothing else, early next week. However, this can, if you were ready to put in zoning permits or anything, this would serve as kind of your, yes, we got the go ahead. So give me a moment to write this and we'll have you guys sign it and then we'll have you on your way.
Like, I think there's the, you remember you said this.
So I definitely don't advise this support. There's a different lawyer for that.
Yeah.
Okay. I just need to write these conditions. I'll have Brandy make a copy so we can move forward to the second case once I'm finished with this, but bear with me for just a moment. Actually, Brandy, I am gonna have you. So, do you feel comfortable putting the conditions from this packet onto this? Okay, sure. Thank you.
Projects that I
Okay.
have. So I will ask him, you know, say, how do you do this?
No. Because I know, like, I swear they do. The more I think about this,
Pardon?
the more I think about it, the more it's like, I really do think Greene County does do spot checks. The more I think about it, really, because I think, I can't remember, like, because I just feel like there's, when they did the, because, you know, when I was doing all my research on, like, with the well state situation, I thought he said it, that they go around in any place that has discharge, they do annual checks.
I would hope they would.
I think they do, and because I was thinking about the well, and I was like, but
Yeah.
there's that too. But I remember one of the guys saying that I could have swore he said they spot check.
There's gotta be somebody to keep these businesses honest.
Yeah.
Because they'd be dumping everything under the sun down
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
I mean, that's my belief, but I don't want to. I
I
don't
know,
want to
but I'm-
say so without
I didn't either.
knowing
Yeah.
so.
It's like the more I think about
But
it,
I'm
the
with
more
you
like,
logically. It would be foolish for them to just trust and
Yeah.
never try to verify. So. Statement.
Because then eventually, I mean, think about Lansing.
Look how much you're learning.
You're bringing my criminals back.
Sorry.
Sometimes we do criminal work, so. yeah.
Yes, both copies will be signed. I'm gonna have you make a copy of all this and bring them around for signatures while we're going into the second one. Okay.
Just rewrite it.
Mm-hmm. Greene County Sanitary Engineering. Why
That's
do
for
I
the
use such
monitoring
long
officer.
words?
They do monitor them every year.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Maybe
part
it
of
does,
their
but I'm
source
not
water
trying to
protection
find out
program.
right now.
They have to do it. It's been approved by the EPA and it comes up for review every 5 years.
Well,
Annually.
Yep.
very good to know.
And I'm trying to think, Arcadis is doing their sampling now.
Oh, okay.
So the company Arcadis.
You're talking all this oxygen depletion and you was like way up here for a few minutes.
Who, me?
You.
Oh, jeez.
To us lay people that don't know a damn thing about. I thought I'm just gonna let him rattle on. He's a hydrologist. You going on any more bike rides?
Well, I did rain. I did the ride across Indiana here
Did you?
about a month ago.
Okay.
And I'm headed up to do Dalmac up in Michigan. It's only a 500-mile ride.
Oh my God.
There you go. Here's that copy. Here's this copy. Thank you, Brandy.
Only?
Yeah.
So what, 3 hours?
All right.
No, 5 days. 100 miles a day. That's
Thanks for
all.
your patience,
Really?
board. Brandy is gonna create the second copy and bring them around for signatures, if that's okay, while we move into our second round of business.
Okay.
All right. Okay, if you are ready,
Yes.
I'll first read the public notice for BZA case number 872. The purpose of the hearing is so that the BZA may review and act on a request by Ward Jason Cole and Tiffany Cole, property owners of 2198 Sulky Trail, parcel ID number B03 0002 0031 007600 to allow a variance. The parcel is currently zoned RPUD, Residential Plan Unit Development, and the requested variance is to allow a fence over 3 feet in height to be constructed in a required front yard setback. That's prohibited by Article 18.06.2 of the Township Zoning Resolution. I do have a short staff report for you. I gave you the basic facts of the case that you would find in the introduction, just a little bit of context for you. The parcel is located on the corner of Sulky Trail and Blacksmith Lane. And here, let's bring this up just so you can take a view of what the proposed fence area would be. So the existing fence here is, like I said, it's existing. They want to extend it out in, you guys are familiar with these cases with corner lots. They have 2 frontages. The frontage they've chosen to extend the fence on is what you would typically consider to be the backyard based on the orientation of the home, but it is considered a front yard in our zoning code. There are a number of residents in this neighborhood who have similar variances. While that does not mean that this variance must be granted in any way, shape, or form, it is in character with the surrounding area. And we do think that because the intersection is on the other side of the lot, it's, fairly far away from the proposed fence, which is only at a height of 4 feet, 1 foot taller than what is allowed, that it does not represent a line of sight issue for the intersection of Sulky and Blacksmith. So with that site kind of layout in mind, the again, it's proposed to be located away from the intersection. We don't think that's a line of sight issue. It will not enclose any utility boxes, so that you notice the little corner piece here, that's to make sure that utility boxes are not enclosed by the fence. And again, we noted that this is in harmony with what else is happening in the neighborhood, so we don't believe it represents a departure from what is in the neighborhood already. So we recommend approving the variance request with no conditions. We don't believe it's a line of sight impediment at the intersection, and it is in harmony with other parcels in the Hunters Point neighborhood. I'd be glad to answer any questions the board has about the application.
Looks pretty straightforward, but let's hear from the applicant, please.
I'm Ward Jason Cole of 2198 Salt Beach Trail, Beavercreek, Ohio 45434. Solemnly swear that the statements I'm about to make are before the Beavercreek Township Board of Zoning Appeals are the truth to the best of my knowledge and belief.
Thank you. What you thinking on the application here? Why 4 feet instead of 3 feet?
So a 3-foot fence is, well, it's extremely easy to jump. There have been some issues in the neighborhood with kids, like, you know, coming into yards and taking things, and actually just recently there was a 16-year-old kid who stole a car and was driving it. I mean, that doesn't have to do with the fence, but just saying that there are instances of you know, teenagers kind of getting up at things. So we wanted it to be a little bit taller to kind of discourage encroaching into our yard. If, you know, especially our daughter's only a 1.5 right now. So for safety reasons, we really want to get this fence there, and our current fence has holes that can be pulled apart so easily. So this is why I want the new fence, and you know, as she gets older as well, if she's playing out there, you know, after dark, we wouldn't want someone to just be able to jump the fence and, you know, take her away if we don't have our eye on her at every moment.
What would the fence be made of?
Aluminum.
Okay. It be open, you know?
Yes, I'm sure you've seen a lot of the aluminum fences. It's just very, very standard aluminum fence with, like, you know, maybe 4 inches between each of the
Stays.
posts, I guess.
Yeah. Do you have pets that you also will keep in the yard?
We only have cats, and they don't go outside.
Okay.
They're spoiled little cats.
Okay. Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay.
I don't have any questions. He's got a neighbor, I think 3 houses down with similar situation, so.
Okay.
Is there an existing fence now?
There is currently, as you can see in this photo, yeah, he's highlighting it there.
Okay.
It's I believe it's a 3-foot fence out of vinyl,
Okay.
and like 1 out of 8 of the little posts have been pulled off, and I bump into it with the mower, and it just falls right off. It's like they're just glued on.
Are you replacing that too, or?
Yes,
not?
we're getting rid of the old fence.
Okay.
And then putting the aluminum one in that red outline space.
Well, that'll keep your daughter in until she's probably a teenager, and then there's other problems.
She could just go out one of the windows, you know.
We've never done
Not as long as you think. You won't keep her in there as long as you think.
Any future thought for anything else in the backyard, a pool or anything?
We were told that it has to be 6 feet for a pool, and I don't think we
5 feet.
5 feet, yeah, 5
yes,
feet.
yes. Actually, like 3 neighbors came up and approached us and talked to us about it, and were curious what we were planning to do, and they were like, "Oh, great, yeah, that sounds good." And then they mentioned the pool thing, so we don't plan to put a pool in at all. We don't have any. We know that this would not be satisfactory for a pool.
Okay,
So,
that's why I bring it up. A lot of people don't
yeah.
think that far in advance. Okay.
Well, you answered the question I had, that have you talked to your neighbors about putting up a larger fence?
Yeah, actually, so the neighbor at the bottom right of this picture, they're real nice people. We were out playing in the yard a couple weeks ago, and they were just curious what we were doing, and they were like, "Great, that sounds great. We're tired of knocking the posts off too." They've like zip tied a couple because they felt bad.
I love it.
But and then the neighbor that's just off the screen to the it would be the south, but
Oh, so
below,
here.
the one, yeah, that one
Gotcha.
there. They also talked to us and they're like, "Great, do you want us to come and give us our support?" And we're like, "I don't think it's necessary," but you know, they yeah, that house there.
So, yeah.
So
So your neighbor to the side, they have a pool? So they
Yes.
do they have a 5-foot fence now?
they do. They have it's a solid vinyl fence. It only goes to right there. Yes.
So you're gonna die into theirs and then tie on to the end? You're not gonna run your fence in front of their fence, are you?
They're gonna be next to each other.
They are gonna be next to them, okay.
I don't think it will look bad though because it's an open aluminum fence next to a. I mean, currently the fence that we have there is a.
Is a 3-foot running next to their 5-foot?
Yeah.
Any questions? Anything else?
No.
Thank you. Well, did you want to speak in opposition? I had seen no other comments and no other discussion. I will close the public portion and we can discuss it amongst the members.
I don't have any issues. It fits in with everything else that we've previously done.
You
No issues.
No issues.
issues? Want to try and make a motion?
No, Jeff like knocked it out the park last time. I'll let Jeff. I'm just like, you know.
No, you gotta practice.
You
You gotta practice. Just start out with a case number.
Yeah.
All right.
You can do it.
I motion case number 872 for the fence being 4 foot instead of 3 fence, or 4 foot instead of 3 foot.
To
Okay.
approve the.
Just
Approve.
make a motion
I make
to
a motion to
approve the case number,
As
approve the
submitted.
case number as presented.
To approve case number as submitted.
Okay.
Motion's been made. Do I hear a second?
I second.
Any discussion on the motion? No discussion? Call for roll.
Mr. Jenkins?
Yes.
Ms. Gottwald?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Mr. Hemrick?
Yes.
Mr. Huntsman?
Yes.
All right, thank you, board. Jason, before I thank you.
No, you like, cause I was literally on the person. I'm like trying to come up with, like the right, I was like, yeah, I'm motioning it, but then like I'm thinking to myself like, I was torn over like, not so much starting it, but it was like, what is the right? And then you come in like just like, I'm like, thank you, Jeff, for saving the day on that one, because I was thinking of the wording on how I wanted to say it, and you're like,
Practice makes perfect.
I'll tell you something that Carol Graff told me, keep
Yeah?
it simple.
okay.
Okay. Great.
I think somebody else told you that too.
Yeah, you.
If you would please sign the copy for the first applicant. And double check the verbiage on the second page, which is the condition.
It's too late for coffee.
No, it's not. It's never so late for coffee.
Oh, golly, I'd never sleep tonight.
My we're doing a job down like in Louisville right now.
Okay.
And there's a Starbucks like right next door, and I'm like never been a fan of Starbucks. I'm like Tim Hortons all the way, right? And now like I'm hooked on that. Like
Okay.
I'm hooked.
You
on
just put the
like-
word handling
like
out
flavor.
there.
Oh, it's
Well, you're
so-
gonna have to try Winans then, because they're the best.
Oh really? Never had it. I'll try it. Okay.
Winans is the best.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's local. Yeah, they
Maybe you
comes
should
out of
start
Troy, I
bringing
believe.
Okay.
They got one up by
the,
the Troy courthouse.
computer
They got one
here.
by Clark County
Yeah.
courthouse.
I'm
They
about
got
to try
one-
it then.
Got one by the green.
Yeah. I'll have to
Yeah.
try it next time. Like I said, I'll.
Yeah, they also make really good chocolate, homemade chocolate.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to stay away from that right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I like Winans.
I think I've taken a turn. Let's see, 35.
All right. Thank you, Brent. I will quickly put together the second one for case
35
Sure.
as well.
So now I'm down like 21. I got 6 more to go.
That's funny.
And
Yeah.
the thing is, I didn't realize it. I'll tell you, like, so I turned 35 like this last month, right? And so I didn't.
I can't think that far back.
I'm 35 as well.
I still can't think that far back.
I'm like trying to like I didn't realize it. You know, it's like because we're talking about like I'm trying to like diet and eat healthier because I'm just like sleep
Good.
it, right? So for some odd reason, like after I turned 35, I stepped on the scale. I'm like, diet exercise. I'm down 21. I'm like, I need 6 more to go to get to where I was trying to get to.
I had 3 kids. I earned this body.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's a healthy attitude. I like it.
I mean, you know,
My wife,
it's
my
probably.
wife's bad about it. She's like, tonight, she's like, what do you get out? So we go to Old Scratch. I'm like, no, I don't
That's
want to go to
funny.
Old Scratch. Like,
Yeah, well, I told my husband when I married him, I said, this is about as good as it's gonna get, so.
Truth of marriage law. I like that.
It's true.
I just say yes, dear.
Stay out of a lot of fights that way.
Yep. I choose my battles, and she wins every one of them. So.
My father
I
told
bet
me,
your wife, I get that.
my father told my husband when we got married, he said, you can be right or you can be happy. And I'm a very happy man.
All right.
It's just my wife's demeanor. She's just so like, just like she's frightening. You know, like, she really, my wife. Is
We can
frightening.
be, yes.
Push button.
I like to look at memes about the law and stuff sometimes when I'm like nervous or whatever. And I love the one that was on the billboard that was like, woman-owned law firm. Have you ever tried arguing with a woman?
That's a good one. That's hilarious.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she's just mean. No, she's not mean. She's just, I don't know. She gets it.
Thank you so much. All right, Jason, here you are. You are all set. Like I said, if you have any questions, just give our office a call, but you should be able to go ahead and put that application in. If you do it online, there should be a portion where you can check fee waived. But if you have any trouble with it, just give us a call before you submit.
We'll already email it to him if he wants it emailed, or should come pick it up.
The permit and stuff like that? Oh, yeah. If you call and you want to talk with their zoning inspector, Lori Brown, just for a little bit more like, hey, I'd like an email to me or whatever, you can do that. But what will typically happen is she'll review your permit and she'll email you the completed permit saying that it's done. Usually the same day.
I'll talk to the fencing company. I think they usually handle that.
Great.
And so they might just do it all for me, but I'll let them
Who
know.
was your contact again?
Beavercreek Fence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They know our process.
Alright,
All right,
thank you.
thanks, Jason. All right, board, thank you for your patience.
We have minutes to approve.
Yes.
I believe is the next point.
Let's just double check that agenda, but I believe you are, actually, we could do minutes or elections of officers first. Which would you prefer?
Minutes.
Minutes, all right. We do have one set of minutes for you.
It'll be very quick.
Yes.
So, I
Board, yeah, I don't know if you were waiting on me or if you wanted to.
yeah, did you have it? So we have it in front of us for those that
Oh,
didn't read it.
yes.
Yeah.
Let me pull that up
Extra copies too.
Okay.
on a moment, please.
How did you compose those minutes from the tape? Okay,
Audio, yeah.
you did a good job.
Well,
You most certainly did.
I was trying to see whose lips were moving, to find out who was who, and it was challenging, so. But
There we go. Now I'd like to open it, please. All right. Here you are, board. Minutes on the screen for you. Minutes are up for you if you have any questions, concerns.
No? No? Would you like to make a motion?
Does the, Mr. Jenkins need to be alternate also or not?
So in this capacity, he was actually sitting as a full board member, so that's why he was not listed as alternate.
Yeah, I was down in the.
He was
I was the
sitting up
alternate.
there. I believe.
Oh, he was? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember who was absent.
Looks like me.
Okay.
Oh, you're up here.
So I
You-
missed you in the
Okay,
email.
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
Does it matter since I wasn't there?
No?
Oh,
Don't
okay.
make any
Big
difference.
deal.
All right. Well, I make a motion to approve the April 19th, 2023 minutes as presented.
Motion's been made, second?
I'll second it.
Seconded? No discussion? Call?
Mr. Jenkins,
Yes.
Ms. Gottwald,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Mr. Hemrich,
Yes.
Mr. Huntsman.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, board. Next on the agenda is election of officers. Brent, why don't you let us know why we are electing new officers at this time?
Because I'm retiring
That's right.
from the board. I'm not retiring. Nope. It's my time. It's my time.
I feel that the regular board members should be here.
To elect officers?
Yes.
I'd be happy to push this. When this agenda was made, we knew we were going to be missing John, but we did not know we were going to be missing Emil.
All right.
No, that
I
would
don't
be
believe
appropriate.
it's. Certainly, someone can act as chair until that decision
Right.
is made by the board. I'm
Yeah, we've done that
100%
before.
comfortable with that.
Okay.
So would that be a motion to table the election?
Okay, I'll make a motion to table the election until the next BZA meeting. Hoping that all the regular board members will be here. Sure.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Mr. Jenkins,
Yes.
Ms. Gottwald,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yep.
Mr. Hemrich,
Yes.
Mr. Huntsman.
Yes.
All right, thank
Thank
you,
you.
board. But I will take this opportunity to just say thank you to Mr. Huntsman. He's
Oh, yeah.
served on this board for over 40 years. It's my understanding
Wow.
since the creation of Beavercreek Township as a
40
municipal
years.
jurisdiction.
No
So
kidding.
um,
Damn.
he's
Longer than we've
he's
been alive.
overseen.
I just turned
Damn.
35 last month.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
Almost my entire life.
Wow.
Congratulations
you.
again for your
Yeah, no kidding.
service. We really appreciate it
Yeah.
at the township, and well-deserved retirement, no doubt, from the board.
I'll have a Brent Huntsman Day in the township. 40 years of service.
Just
I can
make sure
tell you
anything
that-
comes up that's got anything to do with EPA and fluids and stuff like that, that you're at the meetings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
We-
told
we
that
put
we
that
might
in.
be able to retain his services for an undisclosed beverage from time to time.
I can definitely make that happen. You bourbon guy, I'll make sure of that.
So,
As we get rid of my bourbon now.
No,
As long as he doesn't start talking that crap like he did a little while ago about oxygen this and something
nah,
this and that. And
that's the only.
I said, here it comes is what he does for a living.
No. What that was is if he had to talk to the sewage plant.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The only thing that they can really get him if they're dumping carcinogens, like he was talking about, or if they're going to put a heavy oxygen demand
Heavy
on the sewage. So,
Right.
and when they upset their plant and they have to,
They're not happy.
Yeah, well, the EPA is really not happy. That's about a $10,000 fine.
Yeah.
So,
When they can smell it.
yeah, when they kill a fish in the river.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
all right, board. I have no further business for you. I will ask Jeff and Joe to stick around for just a moment after we will want to talk to you about which one will be stepping up from alternate to full position. I'll go over the process with you a little bit. Other than that, I have no more business for you.
Do I hear a motion for adjourn?
So moved.
I
All
second.
those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Anything